just talking to them about different sort of perspectives on what keeps the relationship going. Love can only take you so far. Then if you have the structure that exists over there, you guys have plans, whatever the case may be, and you also have interest within, different sort of experiences, stuff like that, then that's how you keep stuff going. But like you said, and we talked about this before, where with an experience, if you're somebody who dates, a multi-millionaire or tens of millions, hundreds of millions, and this person you're in Dubai one week, and then you're in the Mykonos another week, and then you're over in the Maldives, and then you're heading over here, or all the other stuff. Now you're like, all right, you guys break up. Now you're dating, the dude who's working at the cubicle, where, this weekend I kind of want to go over to, I kind of want to go to Antigua. All right, well, I can't afford to do that. So, what are you going to do?
Like I said, one of the worst things for guys, even for me, when I just started, I had a car where the doors went up.
One of
the best things when the girl was like, oh, I don't know how to do this. It was like, oh, great.
Right.
But like one of the biggest turnoffs for guys, it's like, my ex drove a Lamborghini, and as a guy, you're like, well, okay, like what the fuck are you trying to say?
The fuck am I gonna do?
Because women think it's cool to be like, I've been to all these places. I love Turks and Caicos. I love Antigua. Oh, are you going to Art Basel in Miami this year? Oh, are you going to Mykonos this summer? Are you doing this? And like when a guy sees that, you're like.
Like you've been outside.
Right?
Because
I know you weren't paying for that. Like who was paying for that?
Right. Because seldom do you have. Because although
when girls are like, my ex was a billionaire, I'm like, okay, great.
Right. Because it's not to say that women don't have the money to go and pay for those experiences, but not more often than not, they're not going. You're not going to pay to fly first class, to go to the Mykonos, pay to enter the party, pay to go get your. Like, come on now, let's just call it what it is. Like, it's not to say that you can't, but. We know what it is. Somebody's flying you out to go to those locations. You're not just willfully, because there are some girls, and I've met some who go on like multiple trips per month, just go out. Just they work, they use that money, they go and they spend, they go out there. All power to you. But more often than not, somebody's paying for that.
And it depends on where they're going.
Right.
It depends on if they're going to go to like Jamaica for a weekend, great.
Yeah. Or you're flying down to Miami or something like that. All right. Yeah. But if you've got an international trip, multiple times per quarter, for numerous amount of days for a stay. I flew to Dubai for 2 weeks. Then I flew over here. Like, come on now.
One of the biggest green flags with my wife.
You're getting shat on in the Middle East.
I DM'd my wife and I was like, let's go to the Maldives. She left me on red. And I was like, great. This is a super green flag because now I know that's not going to motivate her. So if it didn't work with me, any other dude that does that's not going to work with them either,
Right.
And it's not like a matter of like, oh, she didn't like me, that's why it didn't work. It's like she did like me because when eventually we had lunch and stuff, she was like, oh, this is great.
Right.
But prior to that, just a random dude DMing her, she was like, nah, I'm not about that life. So
a lot of people want to get flown out, and even with experience, just to go back to that, like if you can give.
Sorry, give me a second. I'm getting all of these calls.
The business is booming right now, but I looked at different sort of experiences. I remember the first time I ever flown first class with a girl, like the business class. She was losing her mind. Like, oh my God, the chair can go and recline. And they call me by my last name. They give me unlimited wine. I have all of these different brands. I'm like, oh man, this is. And I was just being chill about it because this is my first time in business class too. So I'm like, you got to relax. Man. What's going on over here? It's when I flew with, I went out to Greece with my primary quarter appointment. It was all right. It was all right. Good time.
She still hasn't made it to girlfriend, huh?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look. I always have very distinctive names. Like, I don't call my parents mother and father. Like, my father is the patriarchal seed providing Adonis, and my mother's a matriarchal birth giving Adonis.
Okay.
And then my brother, the unchiseled Adonis. So if I had a girlfriend or did not have a girl, I like to keep it anonymous, despite the fact I'm in a relationship. But she's the primary coital appointment, is what I do.
What did she say to that, by the way?
Oh, it's like it goes through one ear and then it comes out the other. But then she's like, why don't you just call me by the? Because I like if when I go to her place, I call it the halfway house. So it's just I always have different sort of
does she
names
call you
for
one
everything.
Of those names like this is my main guy.
No, well. I mean, if she did as a way to slight, at me, I could always, because I it's not that I can dish it and not take it. So I always, find a way to laugh about those things.
I think with women too, it's like they could joke with you, but the second you joke back, it becomes,
right. No, that happens all the time. But then I always leave like the window open to where it's like, all right, if I say something that comes like it's a bit off-putting, I try to make sure that the context is in jest. So you know I'm not just going out of my way to try to disrespect you. But I think there's moments in which the lines are blurred, which understandably so. But I try to reinforce that, hey, listen, this isn't me just trying to be a douche.
I think it's also different because you're very like level-headed.
Right.
You don't get too high, you don't get too low. You're very keen even.
Yeah.
He saw it earlier before you got here. Me and my girl were like, it was going up just because I get fired up.
Dude.
I raise my voice, and it's never in an angry way.
You can't be a victim.
But it's like passionate. Yeah, I'm a very passionate human being, and she's Brazilian, so she's a little, she's a little crazy. So it's almost like one of those things where I go up, and she goes up higher, and I go up higher, and eventually we're just full blown like boom, 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 boom. But she's learning to be like, I need to give me 10 seconds.
Dude, I was here just setting up. They got into a little, not an argument, just a discussion. And yeah, like you said, just one getting higher. I was like laughing about it at first, and then I was like,
is a situation happening over here?
Dude, I felt like when you're a kid and then your friend's parents start fighting, and you have to pretend
you're just there like, all right, well, this is happening. I'm a witness. Something's happening.
But we joke also. It keeps it exciting. It keeps it, because look, here we are married now.
But they got over it like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of those
For
things.
me, it's always because I get calmer and it's damn near like turn into a serial killer. Yeah. And then my eye contact almost never breaks. Like, if you ever saw when Tyson had the stare down with McNally, and McNally's like moving and Tyson's just standing there just staring at him. His eyes are only moving but keeping his eye on him. I just get very calm. I speak very monotone at that point. The voice is incredibly deep. Oh, really? Okay, well, I disagree. And I'll tell you why. And then we go back and forth and everything, and then I try to bury the hatchet as fast as I can, because I always say you don't go to sleep.
That's usually healthy if it's energetic, because the second it's bad, it's kind of like we're not talking at all.
Yeah,
that's when it gets bad. But if it's like a healthy discourse, if we're going like up, like we're passionate about it.
Yeah,
I mean, he kind of saw it too when we were saying like you can't be a victim.
Right.
We had that whole conversation. I was very like into that.